So what was in my bag when I was filming in the Malian desert? Well, I had 2 bags. I had this shoulder bag with the pockets in front of it, the clip on top, really handy. I had attached bits and bobs to that. And of course, the big army rucksack. Tons of pockets, ways to attach things, very, very useful. And of course, a little France 24 badge and press. Important to mark out who I was. I always go away with tons of little bags, always, because all of this becomes a bit of a mess and things just need to be compartmentalized. You might notice that on this one, this was actually an idea of Fanny, Allard. I was filming with Fanny. There were 2 of us filming in the desert. Fanny works for the French channel. She said that what we should do is we should put stickers on all of our little bags with writing saying what we'd actually put in them. And that was a really good idea because in the morning when you're rushing to prepare your bag and you don't know where was that battery, where's my second card, and you've got the Legionnaires waiting for you and they're about to leave and the vehicles and the engines are firing up and you just don't know where your things are. Well, I did know where my things were because I had these little tags on them. So that was a good idea from Fanny. The camera. The Sony A7S Mark II. The lens I used is the 24-240mm kit lens. Batteries. I have 6 here. I think I took more like 10 because that is the one problem with the Sony is the batteries just die way too quickly, which is why I had 2 different chargers so I could charge 4 batteries at the same time, and this one was really great. I'm so pleased I found this before coming away. Stuck this thing on top and I could charge rechargeable AA batteries, and that's what I used for my lapel mic, which I'm wearing right now. Staying with sound, I had a microphone up here, which is attached via the sound kit. It's attached by a smart hot shoe, so it means the sound goes straight into the camera. But I had a feeling it might be a bit fragile there, and I was nervous that some sand might get in and that it was going to get damaged. So what I did is I wrapped some cling film around the smart connection and I kept it there for the whole 2 weeks. I didn't move it. And I had backup plans for the sound because obviously there's no video without audio. Sound is just as important as the image. So first, number 1 backup plan was this microphone, which if something had gone wrong with the hot shoe connection, I would have stuck this on top and directly plugged it into the camera and the sound would have gone into the camera. Second backup option was the never go filming, I'm using French words there, never tourner, never film without the double mini jack, because that meant I could have, if I'd needed to, plugged in the lapel mic directly into the camera as well. Great backup plans. You need a backup plan. Always have a backup plan. Headphones, obviously, because it's good to be hearing what you're actually filming, making sure there's nothing going wrong with your microphones. And this, completely crucial when you're filming with this camera. You need a ND variable filter when you're filming outside. I never took this off, only at the end of the day or early in the morning and it was dark. The rest of the time, this stayed on my camera the entire time. Because it's variable, it meant that I could twist it round and change how darkened the image was. Absolutely crucial. This light was also, it's a great light. Love this light. It's a tiny little light, it's really lightweight. And I don't usually put it on the camera. I don't usually put it on the camera because I find it flattens the image. If you're filming someone's face and you've got the light on it, there's no shadow anymore, there's no richness to their face. So usually what I would do is I would light a scene with it. If I was with someone, I would ask them to hold it. If not, I might put it somewhere in the scene and light the scene because it's a powerful little light. But when we were in the desert, we weren't allowed to use light at night because that would have drawn attention to our position. And so in the evenings and throughout the night into early in the morning, no light was allowed at all. What else do I have? Of course, the GoPro. Now, I was really pleased with one sequence that we shot with this GoPro. I actually put it on a sergeant, so he was wearing the sort of body strap there. And I was lucky because I was following him, I was filming behind at the very moment where he came across a kind of hideout. It looked like their enemy had been hiding out under some kind of branches. There were remains of fire and even some spent cartridges as well. And so what was great is that I was filming behind him and I was able to get the shot of him finding it and asking questions. And this GoPro picked up him actually coming across it. And so you'll see in the final report that we were able to edit both of the images together, and that made a really nice sequence. So I was really pleased with that. Also, the sound on the GoPro, this is a Hero 5, the sound was really good. The microphone's tiny, but it's a great backup camera. If anything had gone wrong with this guy, I would have had the GoPro as a great backup. Another backup plan, I'm seeing a theme here, lots of backup plans when you're in the desert, because things could go wrong. This little microphone, if something had gone wrong with this camera and with the GoPro, or with Fanny Allard's camera, because she was also filming, we had two cameras, I would have stuck this microphone into my smartphone, and I would have just filmed with my smartphone, and actually it would have been okay. So again, very important backup plan. Can't do without that. What else? Oh yeah, this external battery. I was able to charge some stuff in the armored vehicles, but not all the time, and it was sometimes quite slow to charge, so I always had this. What else? Oh yeah, when it comes to protection, this I popped on whenever I wasn't filming. I would put this onto my camera, because the sand gets everywhere in the Sahara Desert, and if any sand had gone in here, it would have been a major, 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 major problem. So I kept this on all the time, and I also brought along some makeup brushes because they are ideal for cleaning the camera. Just light touch is all you need. Don't scrub, but just a little clean, and I was doing that every night. I also had this scarf, and again, when I wasn't filming, I was covering the camera. I'd have it around like that, and I would just cover the camera the whole time, because if a gust of wind comes up and you get sand in your camera, then you're in major trouble. This is non-filming stuff, mostly. This sort of neck wrap. I had two of these, actually. One went round my neck to protect from the sun, and one I put over my hair when I was wearing the helmet. This was really handy. It was absolutely filthy after 2 weeks in the sand, but it washed out pretty well. Probably would go for a dark green or a beige color next time. I'm not sure white was the best idea for 2 weeks in the desert. This, I was so pleased I found this. This also onto the belt hook, clean the camera lens. This stayed on the whole time, because with all the sand, I was cleaning my camera lens every 10 minutes. What else have I got? The pen knife. This is a good one. Food, eating, as well as, cutting things up, just anything. You always need a pen knife. You never go away without a pen knife. But do not leave it in your hand luggage, as I did. And they nearly took it off me as we were going through Niamey Airport on the way back to France. They very kindly, thank you to the airport staff at Niamey Airport in Niger. They allowed me to put it from my hand luggage back into my suitcase so that I was able to go home with it for France. So thanks. Always take it away with you, but make sure you don't leave it in your hand luggage, because you're not allowed that in your hand luggage. Moving on to things which aren't, this. Again, this is not the one I took. This would have been way too big. This would never fit in. I had a smaller one. It's a dust remover. If you're not a professional, do not go anywhere near the sensor. Do not try and get in there to try and clean your camera. But it was very helpful to be cleaning the sand. Voila. Clean the sand off and around it. Like I said, don't take the lens off and try and clean inside, because you need to be a proper professional to clean lenses and sensors and whatnot. But it was helpful for cleaning around. What else? Knife and fork for eating. That's obviously a must. We were mostly eating French army rations, which we were eating cold because it was so hot we didn't need to heat them up. But we did use the gas stove, here it is, as well as the pot. We did use both of them for making coffee in the morning, because a nice black sugary coffee at 5 in the morning really sets you up well. So we did use those, and obviously the water bottle. Drink a lot of water in the desert. Just drink, 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 drink. And the plastic cup, pretty crucial as well. Protection when we were actually out filming. Of course, the light head torch. Again, didn't really get to use, as with this light, my camera, didn't really get to use the head torch very much, because we weren't allowed to use lights at night, because it would have drawn attention to where we were camping, and we actually changed every night. We changed positions. We put everything away and drove to another position so that we could be on the move all the time and the enemy wouldn't know where we were. What else? Gaffer tape. I would never film without gaffer tape. You need gaffer tape. You always need gaffer tape. You never know when you need to stick something somewhere. Always, always take gaffer tape. And these. So first of all, goggles. If we'd been up on the vehicle driving fast through the desert, these would have been on to protect our eyes. If anything had happened, any kind of explosions, these would have gone on again, protecting the eyes from any kind of debris. Same with the earplugs. Obviously, most of the time I was using my headphones so I could actually hear what I was filming. But if something had gone wrong, if there'd been gunfire, if there'd been any kind of loud explosions, these would have gone in to protect my eardrums. The gloves. Now, obviously, it was not cold in the Sahara Desert, so I didn't need to wear these to keep my hands warm. I needed them, again, to protect my hands, because in the inside of army vehicles, it's metallic and it's various different sharp things. And when you're filming, if you cut your finger or cut some of your hand, damage your hands, then you're pretty unhappy. So these, I put these on. I didn't have them on all day, but I had them on when I was inside the vehicle just to make sure that I wasn't going to slice my hand open on something, because that would have been a pity. And I think I've covered everything. Yeah, I think that's... Oh no, this is a crucial one. How could I have forgotten this? I tied this to my belt hooks, and guess what it is? Fanny, Allard and I, from the French channel, we thought about it long and hard. Do we take a tripod with us? Now, I mean, I always film with a tripod. I would never not take a tripod with me. We did take the tripod to Mali, but when it came to actually leaving the base camp and going away for a week with the Legionnaires and moving with them every day, we realized that the big tripod we had was going to be too heavy and it was going to take up too much space. So we made the big decision, after much reflection, to leave the tripod at base camp. Big decision. In hindsight, if I'd had a smaller, lighter weight, maybe a photo tripod, I probably would have taken that, because I would have been able to fit it into my rucksack. But having an extra thing to carry that was heavy, given we were also wearing bulletproof vests, helmets, and we were walking for hours on end with the Legionnaires, having to keep up with the Legionnaires as well, having the tripod would have just been impossible. So this is where this came in handy, and actually is Alexandra Renard from the French channel who gave me this idea. She did this when she was in Libya. Tie it to my belt hooks. It's a sock with some rice and some dried beans inside it, and it's excellent because what you can do is, I was spending the day looking for surfaces, vehicles or boulders or branches. I would put this on it and then go like this. It acts as a kind of, well, it's a kind of balance really for your camera, so that rather than doing this and trying to hold it up with your hands, you dump it on there and you can get a nice still shot. Now, most of the time we were filming in movement because we were following the Legionnaires as they were going out doing their job, but you always need still shots as well. And so we were using this for the still shots, and this is excellent. I would take this away with me again. I was really pleased with that. I think that's it. What I basically, to round up, what I had to think about, and what Fanny had to think about too when we were packing our bags, was we knew we needed to be lightweight. At the same time, if you're in the middle of the desert and something goes wrong, if something breaks or gets damaged, well, there's nothing you can do. So we had to be really light, take as little as possible, but we also had to make sure we had backup plans, which is why I brought the extra microphone, which is why I brought all these things to protect and clean my cameras, which is why I had everything here. Everything that went into my bag was thought about long and hard. And probably if I went away again, I would make a few changes. This bag was very specific to Mali, to filming in the desert. And that's it. That's the two bags that I had when I was filming with Fanny Allard in the desert in Mali.